Look at this physique. Just look at it. You couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe a shape like that could even exist on a human being.
The closest thing to perfection of physique I've ever seen is yours.
Flex Wheeler, the man with the greatest shape in bodybuilding history. A physique so unreal, so perfectly sculpted, that people still argue he had the best genetics to ever walk on a Mr. Olympia stage.
227 pounds, I'm 5'10". I have 22.5 inch horns, my legs are 31, my waist is a 27.5.
But here's the truth most people don't want to hear. Behind that flawless shape was a battle so brutal, so exhausting, that only a few could survive it. Because the hardest part in bodybuilding is not the training, it's the diet. More than eating, it's a mental war. When he first started bodybuilding, he didn't have the money or the knowledge for proper dieting.
I don't know how I achieved that because I didn't know anything about dieting. I didn't know anything about dieting whatsoever. I went on and I started competing, in bodybuilding, and actually, again, because I had no money, and my diet was tuna. So I would eat 7 cans of tuna a day, and I would eat a handful of sourdough French bread per meal. So we would do that 7 times how many days for a week. So we buy that many cans of tuna and big loaves of sourdough French bread, and I would have a Gatorade with each drink, and he would buy me that once a week, and that was my diet.
When it's prep, Flex goes 0 carbs for 2 to 3 months straight. And that's no joke. With no fuel in the tank, you still have to push through those brutal workouts. It's nowhere near as easy as people think.
It was just getting harder and harder to reach my condition as I got older. So I had to start taking drastic measures and going, anywhere from 1 to 2 and even sometimes a little bit over 3 months, 0 carbs.
I had the ability of going 0 carbs for long periods at a time, so I would go like 2 or 3 months of just
How many times a day were you eating roughly?
7.
7. And
so 88 ounces of filet mignon a day. And I hate steak. Well, no, I have to take it to a butcher. So back then, you couldn't just buy it really in a store. So I'd go to the meat place and have a butcher put it through a grinder. So I hate steak, so I need to see it. I'm really mental and effed up like that. So I need to see it and visualize it as a hamburger.
No problem. Bang it up, come on.
5-6 meals a day, every single one timed like a machine. And when you're fed up, when you don't want to chew another bite, when your stomach says, stop, your goals say, keep going. And that proof came through pain. The pain of eating when you're not hungry, when every bite feels like a fight. You have to eat. A lot of people don't understand what real eating is. Man, you eat so much that you feel like you can't take another bite. When you're trying to gain weight, you literally eat until you feel sick. You stop only when you're about to throw up and your body can't handle anymore. Then you wait 2 hours, and you do it all again.
Come on. Come on. Good.
When you were prepping for those shows, like, what did your food look like? When you were at probably your peak muscle mass, you were 58 and that.
256, yeah.
What was your diet looking like at that time?
Filet mignon, just red meat, and I had the ability of going 0 carbs for long periods at a time, so I would go like 2 or 3 months of just
How many times a day were you eating roughly?
7.
7.
So 88 ounces of filet mignon a day.
Filet mignon and peanut butter, and ketchup, obviously. And like I'd have peanuts, if I was hungry in between that, but it would be like
no veggies, like
no
plain.
And I should have, but I can't eat vegetables. I hate them. I can't stand them. So
melt them and drink them.
No, I just no. I just end up just taking vitamins and minerals to try to close that gap. But it was just it was 0 carbs. It was just 12 ounces of filet mignon and 2 spoonfuls of peanut butter, going into the show. And then that Wednesday, Chap would come in and look at me and, and assess and be like, okay, you can have 1 spoon of oatmeal, and I'd be like, oh, my mouth would just be watering, just for that little bit of oatmeal.
And I hate steak.
But filet you can smoke.
Well, no, I have to take it to a butcher. So back then, you couldn't just buy it really in a store. So I'd go to the meat place and have a butcher put it through a grinder. So I hate steak, so I need to see it. You know, I'm really mental and effed up like that. So I need to see it and visualize it as a hamburger.
I was built for this. Yeah, I was built for this.
You couldn't believe it. You couldn't believe the shape. The physique on that guy was unreal.
There it goes.
Always be yourself. Don't chase someone else's success or try to copy their personality. Flex can go 0 carbs and it works for him, but that doesn't mean it will work for you. Learn your body. Understand what you respond to. Always stay true to who you are.
I did not know that you were such a low carb. Like you would compete that way without carbs?
Yeah, so I would go all the way up, and I don't really know if it's carb sensitive. I think if you train your body, it becomes normal. You adapt, right? The only way I could achieve great condition and being a lot bigger, but no. So my carb would, consist of maybe 1 or 2 meals going into the show, and sometimes my carb up would be like 2 spoonfuls of oatmeal, and I would literally light up like a candle. What I found after going so long on 0 carbs, all it took is just very little for my body to explode.
What you have to understand is this: you have to find your own way. Flex took the hard route, the extreme route, and that worked for him. But that doesn't mean it will work for you.
It's not for everyone, Some people just define the laws of everything that we learned or we taught. So I remember Dad had Ronnie try to go 0 carbs, and I remember Ronnie telling him that he passed out, he went hypoglycemic, and everybody's just so different. You just can't build a platform for anyone just because it worked for somebody else. It has to be specific, and everybody has to be able to tolerate that.
People try to copy the mannerisms, the eating, diet, the attitude, but they never start from the root of his being and the real question: how can I be me? Most things in bodybuilding are basic, yeah. You can get all the information you want, all the tips, all the strategies, but none of that matters if you forget the one truth behind everything. Keep it simple. Keep it basic, and don't ever forget, this is about hard work, man. Real, raw, no excuses hard work.